Hello and welcome to Learning with Lulu. So in this video, I'm just giving you a quick summary of chapter 2 of Frankenstein. So in this chapter, Victor gives us a little bit more insight into how he came to study the things that would eventually lead him where he's going. Throughout his narrative, he has this very ominous, oh, if only I had known what was going to lead to my ruin, to where I am now. And he hasn't said exactly where he is now, but it has a very ominous hint to it. It's very foreboding. And so he says that when he was younger, he had a friend named Henry Clerval. Clerval. And he was really good friends with Henry. Henry was very much into playing, I almost want to say make-believe, playing as though they were the Crusaders or members of King Arthur's court. He really liked, masquerading and those kind of things. He liked that side of life, of education, whereas Victor is very interested in the why of things. Why do things work the way they do? And he came across a book by Cornelius Agrippa, and it was about natural philosophy. And you get the sense that he was very intrigued by not only Agrippa, but other men associated with him who were talking about kind of old world science, ancient science. His father, Victor's father, saw the book and he kind of gave it just kind of like a side glance, you get the sense, and was like, oh, don't waste your time with that. But Victor was just kind of like, oh, I don't know that my dad really knows what's in this book. So he dived into it and he fell in love with it. He talks about how he became really fascinated with the concept of the philosopher's stone, or the fountain. He doesn't use the word fountain of youth. Essentially, the philosopher's stone. He becomes enamored with the idea of people avoiding death, of beating death, and so he dives into that a lot. But then he's talking about how one day they watched a storm roll in, and he was really fascinated by this storm. And he watched as lightning struck a tree in their yard and completely, utterly destroyed it. And he was in awe of that. And so he kind of turns away from these more ancient sciences to more hard, fast, and logical sciences. He becomes obsessed with math, I believe he says, and kind of tosses away those old philosophers. So that's a really quick summary of chapter 2 of Frankenstein. I want to say the big points of it are that we learn Victor's friend growing up was Henry Clerval, and by the way, he talks about how his more than sister is a steadying force for both he and Henry. And then we also learn a little bit about what he was interested in studying as a kid, what topics he was passionate about. It started with kind of more of these natural philosopher's stone, beating death kind of stuff, and then it turned to more logical, hard and fast sciences. So I hope this helps. Make sure to subscribe to this channel and share with anyone else you know that may benefit from it, like this video, comment on it. If you don't give any spoilers of Frankenstein if you know what's coming, but just any insights that you may have from this particular chapter. So thanks for watching, and I'll see you around.